Alright guys, what's up? Are you guys doing good? Today we're going to talk about how to unleash the full power of UNIX Linux command line, and we're going to see how to automate stuff we don't want to do manually and have some fun with the terminal. First of all, let me show you that your terminal doesn't have to be necessarily black and white. Here you see different settings, Ocean for example. Here you can have a new window with different settings like this, or for example, something pretty much different like this, and so on. So it's pretty fun. Okay, it's time for us to make things happen. I created an empty text file called newfile.txt on the desktop here. And now I'm going to make 100 copies of that with a for loop I wrote real quick in the command line. Alright, so this is the for loop I've written before. And watch out. We have 100 copies of the same file in the twinkling of an eye. Isn't that something? Alright, now I want to make another trick. So what I want to do here is to get rid on all of this stuff with a simple command in the command line. That's the following. There you go. So I got rid of all these copies in a second with that command, and the only file remaining here is the original file I created. Of course, I could do the same thing with the GUI, but it would take much longer for me to do that. So you can understand the full power of the command line here confronted with the GUI. Now let's look at something different and see how we can automate tedious tasks by using a bash script. So I created this script to make reconnaissance on people names. Now, how do hacker get information about you? They open a series of search engines searching for information about a certain person. Of course, that implies to open up a series of websites and insert a search string. I'm very lazy, so I kinda automated the whole process with a bash script here, which I call people.bash, which works very simply. Once we launch the script, you enter the first name and the last name of the person you want to look up, and the search engine automatically enters that string for you. So you already have a series of pages already loaded with this person's name, in this case my name. You see that all of these sites work in a different way. For example, in this case, you have the first name, a slash, and the last name. Here you have the first name, a plus sign, and the last name, and so on. So for me to realize the script, I had to study the whole thing and see how each site returned the search string and implement it accordingly, which I did creating two variables, one was for the first name and one that stored the last name. Let's now have a look at something a little more interesting. I happen to see a lot of YouTube tutorials, especially about hacking and pen testing, so I decided to come up with a script to automate the search, because sometimes I happen to see an interesting tutorial but it's in the middle of 100 other things, I don't really give a crap about. So I automated the whole thing with a script called video search, which does nothing but returning the topics I want off YouTube. Of course, for you to use that, you need to enter the search string. So let's do this. It supports pretty lengthy strings, so I will enter something like that. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Okay guys, that's all I can show you for today. I want to leave you with the words a man I consider my mentor, Professor Richard Hartman at Stark State College. When I was in his Linux class, he kept repeating something that grew on me after a while, because it was fundamentally true. He kept saying that all we do with our computers is sitting there idle, and 90% of the time they do nothing waiting for an input from us. And he kept repeating we should have our computer work for us and not the opposite. Instead, what we do most of the times, we have our computer sitting idle and we don't unleash its full power because we could have our computer do stuff for us while we do something else, like going outside if it's a good day or something like that. Alright, guys, that's all for today. Have a good one.